This is Mr. Regular's New Zealand Journal. Leg 1, January 26, Philadelphia International Airport, 9:49 a.m., Gate A8. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, and everybody is feeling degenerate. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. And we are the worst fans in the country. Some say the best, the most passionate. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the only American football fans who can riot like Europeans. Someone near American Airlines Gate A8 starts a "Yay, yay, yay, GL" chant. And long "Oh" hollers follow. Security guards are all grins. Baggage handlers, too. If the Eagles lose the Super Bowl, Philly is going to crumble. If the Eagles win, the city will crumble and burn. Philly fans flip cars when they win. Winning the Super Bowl will give Dirty Bird fans the energy to flip an office building. An American Airlines clerk gets on the public address system. Now boarding groups 4 and 5 to Montego Bay, Patriots fans will board last. And more "Woo!" and "Fly, Eagles, fly!" chants start. I am now on American Airlines flight to Los Angeles. The lead crew member asks if anybody checked a red bag with a Canadian flag tag. A man in the aisle across from me said that he has a red checked bag. "But does it have a Canadian flag tag?" the crew member asks. And the guy responds, "Well, it's not really red," the man says. "But it does have a Canadian flag tag, yes?" asked the crew member. Yeah. "Oh, okay, it fell off the cart and the tag ripped off," said the crew member. "One of the ground crew is holding it up outside your window. Go look." Can you look out the window and identify your luggage? Now, the wife had the window seat, and she says, I can't see it. Can he," meaning the ground crew, "can he turn it around in his hands?" "Let me look," huffs the husband, and he heaves himself out of his aisle seat, rolling over, and his pants fall down, taking the underwear with them. And we see a butt crack as long as a first down. Yep, that's our bag. I can tell because it's missing one peg leg." Red suitcase guy timbers back into his aisle seat, and his mustache looks like it's falling off his upper lip like a water-falling tablecloth falling off a table, and his face flesh is trying to run away from his skull. Midway through the flight, and there's a piss line for the bathroom. Grown-ups wearing pajama slacks. The words "train fuck" appear in my notebook with no explanation. When you make enough old money, your chin reverses into a concave shape. I'm in the lavatory now, 500-mile-per-hour piss. I want to sing and shout "piss, piss, piss, piss," but I don't want to cause a scene, so I just say it really quietly. I'm turning through my notebook here because I had like New Zealand driving directions in here. Oh, wow. Still New Zealand driving directions. A lot of it. A lot of New Zealand driving directions. Okay. Oh, wait. No. That's the bumper that you've been reading through this entire thing. Here we go. I see frozen lakes below in the American Midwest. The lake ice reflects the sun, making them shimmer like a 70s glam rock band. One of the lead crew members uses the plane's beverage cart to block the passageway to the front galley while the pilot emerges from the flight deck to poop in the front lavatory. Aviation poops. Once the captain finishes his autopilot poo, I go back into the bathroom to pee out my Johnny-come-lately urine. Where were you when I was sitting an hour ago? Tissue paper. Dick dabbin'. Back in my seat, I rest my head against the bulkhead and listen to the wind at 550 miles an hour. Down below, lives go on. Down below, someone in Colorado has a Google Chrome browser window open in incognito mode. He is more erect now than on his wedding night, furiously strong, twitchy and stiff. He will never tell anybody what he's looking at. Shame, really. It's only slightly left of your mainstream vanilla kinks. Final descent. Here it comes again. The motherfucker. L.A. I see steroid green lawns popping against emaciated hills. Veins of traffic dry fuck the mountains where the hyper-rich curve their roads away from each other, so that they can give themselves the impression that they have no neighbors. I see a concrete river. How deep can this city push into the cursed earth? It's 10:15 p.m. body time, 7:15 p.m. local time, here in the Doubletree Hotel near Culver City, California, where a 1970s theme costume party is underway in this hotel. I see dry, clean, fresh pastel-colored dresses paired with unstoppable afros. Sly and the Family Stone music with bass lines to accompany the all-night wine bar. I'm still wearing my getting on an airplane white dress shirt, orange tie, and navy blue sweater vest. I'm a good boy. Maybe I can blend in when I walk up to the hotel's second-floor mezzanine. Nope, I don't blend in. A blobbish daddy looked me over with "Who are you?" eyes. I turn around without saying a word. Back downstairs I go. The lobby bar is open to my kind. I have no drinking notes for myself apart from... This one guy comes up to the hotel bar downstairs where I belong and tries to get a refund on his wine because it was served in the wrong kind of glass. Because this disco party is going on, all the good wine glasses are for the party. So they ran out, so they started using the regular wine glasses, like the thicker regular glass, not the crystal ones. The regular wine glasses that you get if you order wine on room service up to your room. These are the thicker, smaller ones that don't break when you drop them on the floor. So this guy says he wants a refund because I can't drink wine out of a sippy cup. And the bartender, she goes, I don't have any other glasses besides these. And he goes, well, can I get my money back? Like, it's a full glass of wine he has in front of him. And so she says, I can't do this. And the guy goes, well, just give me a double whiskey, neat. So he gets his double whiskey, and then he has one of these dress shirts. He's fat. The shirt is trying to untuck itself from his, trousers. And I'm drinking a gin martini, which is my go-to thing at a hotel bar, or gin and tonic. Gin's my game. And then I get his wine because I was cool with the bartender. So now I have liquor and wine. Saturday, January 27th, Malibu Kitchen, Malibu, California. This is the vintage car spotting place, so the internet says. So we went out here on our day off. I see a gleaming white Porsche 944. I see a Reddit prostate-milking dirty Mark I Land Rover, below which two yellow Labradors snooze. I eat some kind of smoked salmon sandwich prepared by someone whose eyes disliked viewing... Oh man, this is a sentence. I eat some kind of smoked salmon sandwich prepared by someone whose eyes disliked viewing frolicking young adults. Outside on the porch of Malibu Kitchen, tiny crows bark pleasantly. Maybe they're mimicking other birds, or maybe they've learned to make pleasing sounds which make humans toss crumbs. It sure worked on me. I laid down generous chunks of my cinnamon roll. I watch the birds look at the marble-sized hunk of bread and sugar. They tilt their heads, wondering how to fly off with it. Nick, Dave, a friend from town, and I walk out to Malibu Beach, where we see phones held high, trying to capture genuine moments. I wonder what Malibu-born children are like. Where will they go to escape? People of Malibu. The people of Malibu. Beautiful and mean-looking. Now we're back at the hotel. The night bartender is 7 fruit flavors of over it, grabbing empty plates and napkins as if they are personal insults. Now it's the next day. Fly-out time. Fly to New Zealand. Sure, just do that. 2 hemispheres away. At my insistence, we arrived to LAX Tom Brady International at 3:30 p.m. for a 7 p.m. flight. Nothing to do but hurry up and wait. I pace the long way up and down the international terminal of LAX, with earplugs in my ears. I feel the temperature rise and fall as I enter and exit groups of people clumped together like leaves in a stream. What mysteries lie in the Emirates Lounge? There's a Porsche apparel store, and 1 female employee is inside, and no customers. She is young. She is young and blemishless, like a comic book heroine. Her eyes are unfocused, and her lips are curved upward in a casual smile. Motionless, she stands. I pace when in airports. I pace. I can't sit still. How long does it take to walk from one end of the terminal to the other? 15 minutes? Great. If I make 6 laps of the building, we'll be ready to board. We're ready to board. 15 hours to Auckland, New Zealand. Take a sleeping pill. Take a sleeping pill after you watch a movie and settle in for the long half sleep. My notes become jagged at this point, sleep deprivation in a strange city. Here's what I recorded after we landed. New Zealand, January 27th. New Zealand, January 29th. 3:10 p.m. local time. Hot summer weather for this country. Some kind of heat wave is going on. Feels like 89 degrees. Whatever. My head is cloudy, full of fog. I'm surrounded by Blade Runner city talk. Nick collapses, and I am determined to fight sleep. Andrew and Isaac take me to an aeronautical museum. My speech is labored, and I'm on a vintage trolley now. A trolley that only runs within a museum? Follow Andrew and do whatever he says. How am I here? Where are we going? Brass rails, wood bench seats, harsh light, and midnight shadows all at once. Stay in the moment and don't panic. You are in New Zealand. Stay awake for another 9 hours and then sleep. Follow Andrew and everything will be fine. Isaac takes a photo of me writing. I am in an aviation museum, and I see a TBM Avenger, the same make of plane Samuel Hines flew in the book Flights of Passage. New Zealand received 2 TBMs for the Second World War, or slightly after. Someone will know. The TBM is one of the largest single-engine warplanes the U.S. ever made. It's a torpedo bomber, and it carries its torpedoes internally. And for a moment, looking at this plane, I forget my fatigue. We're now back on the museum trolley. The sun is bright, and the wooden bench is a vibration hemorrhoids enlarging plate. Cars. Parked cars here don't make sense. New Zealand feels like an unfinished GTA mod. Some of the cars are real, and some of them are just made up. Kids are just as impatient in any accent. Kiwi talk. When not concentrating, it sounds just like a whole bunch of E's and Y's. We're back in the hotel room, the hot hotel room, where I sing "O Canada" while lying face down on the floor. The next day. I'm curled into a fetal position, lying in the Highlander's 3rd row seat. Jet lag, still trying to sleep in between stops. I sleep for 1 hour, and then stay awake for 2. Then I sleep for another hour, and then I'm awake for 2. The Highlander crawls into downtown Auckland. Auckland, New Zealand. It feels like a mix of Toronto, Canada, and Portland, Oregon. Our city is clean, modern, and we're better than you, because we're more sorry for our privilege than you are. I see jaunty buildings, awnings. I see no police. It's a youthful city, youthful citizens. This is a youthful country. The old look young, and flip-flops are not flip-flops. Now we're sitting in an upscale food court where a smiling East Asian woman handed us numbered pedestals to place on our tables. We don't receive our food from the counter, they bring it to our table, and no tipping. And they keep smiling. And I awkwardly take my ordered bento box. And our waiter, she wears a kimono, and I'm an asshole. I'm standing on a bench in the Auckland area. The sun set a few minutes ago, and the sky is purple. You know, if the missiles fly, I feel we'll be safe here, I confessed to Andrew. The thought has crossed my mind, replied Andrew. January 30th, 8:52 a.m., Auckland hostel. No air conditioning. The night cooled off enough and I slept with no blanket. My clothes are hanging by the window, drying. I wash them in the sink. The front desk of this hostel is not staffed 24 hours. You have to use your key card to swipe into the building. This hostel is more like a college dorm. I see strange folks hanging around the front steps, waiting for someone to let them in. They smoke and eye up anybody coming up the stairs or going down them. Nothing is scheduled today, and I don't have diarrhea. I called Isaac dog, but he didn't know what I meant. Later that day, at Piha Beach, we're at Piha Beach, and things are okay here. And I burn my feet on the black sand. It's not really black, it's more light brown, but they call it black, I don't know. Anyway, they warned me that the sand was hot, but I didn't listen, and now my feet are red. The lifeguards here at Piha Beach are nice. They aren't blowing their whistles every 5 minutes at someone who strayed 1 meter outside the flags. Isaac and Andrew tell me that there's a reality show about this beach and people die here. The beach didn't look or feel all that dangerous to me. The waves were larger than the waves on the Jersey Shore, but that's about it. February 3rd. We're fast forwarding here. I didn't take any notes while filming, and now we're at the Auckland airport again, waiting for a 1-hour flight to Wellington to begin the second half of our trip. No TSA here, just private security who look, talk, and walk and move their arms like human beings. Reasonable prices here in AKL. $8 NZ for a chicken wrap. That's about $5 USD. The domestic carrier is laid out like a Southwest airplane, no first or business class. There are overhead monitors, but instead of playing a movie or a show, all the monitors display is general trivia questions, the kind of questions displayed in a movie theater before the previews. The trivia questions were Kiwi-centric, and I knew nothing except for Kia ora, because everybody says it. Coffee and cookies on a 1-hour puddle jumper. I love Air New Zealand. We land. Cold today here in Wellington. Feels like high 50s. What is that in centigrade? 16, 6, 10? Who cares? I need a knit cap. And why am I always hungry here in New Zealand? I'm always hungry and thirsty. I want ramen. I want comfort food. Andrew has some. Andrew, may I have a pack of ramen, please? Sunday, February 4th. My notes are becoming erratic. Days are filled with activities which I can't recall. I do recall I am snoozing in the rear of Isaac's Lancaster 6 between locations. Here are some entries. Seashore Cabaret, Lower Hutt, Wellington, Brave Burbs. Battle Board Dog Ears letter E. What does that mean? Lower Hutt, it's like Puget Sound with no garbage. Lower Hutt has a beachfront, but only a few businesses, the opposite of Ocean City, New Jersey. A mother holds a large, unruly child. Oh, now I remember what these notes are about. We're having breakfast at Seashore Cabaret. Every New Zealand breakfast is top tier. Anyway, a mother is holding an unruly child who is screaming with his fingers in his own ears, determined to ruin breakfast. The mother carries her snotty disaster away as he yell cries, still holding his ears. He wants to be held, but he doesn't. Being a child is to be in bondage, to have no sovereignty. Wellington, a coastal city without suburban sprawl. The mountains put a stop to that. No building past them. I stir my flat white, and Kaz and Andrew are confused. There aren't many dangerous animals here in New Zealand. Just birds and rodents and deer and sheep and some cows and horses for pleasure and well-behaved dogs. Andrew tells me that native New Zealand animals are trying their hardest to become extinct. Whoop, mispronounced that word. Native New Zealand animals are trying their hardest to become extinct. Sometime later, I'm now standing in another national park, looking over another breathtaking view. Godsmack my eyeballs. I see wind turbines. This national park grows wind turbines, and I can watch wind turbines for hours. I am standing on a bluff high enough above the surf that no sound from the waves reaches my ears. A valley cuts into a green plateau to my left. The valley is unnatural because it dead ends about 1/8 of a mile into the plateau. The valley doesn't cut all the way through. This is the kind of place in a JRPG where you find a member of your party who previously ran off but now is back and has something really important to tell you. Assault my eyeballs with full frontal scenery again. Gulp it down. Don't swallow because we're going to fuck your roads and cones in the next... Gulp it down, don't swallow because we're going to fuck your rods and cones on the next hill. Sometime later, a day later, I'm filming outside Wellington. Wind blows so strong I can't think. Wind in Wellington is so strong it blows the thoughts right out of my head. I try to film cars coming and going shots. Wind catches my camera's lens hood and fights for control. Only shooting from a prone position works. New Zealand, Wellington. Everything is a wind weather emergency by Pennsylvania standards, and my bucket hat doesn't work. I am thirsty. All the time I am thirsty here. Maybe I'm sweating, but the wind just blows away my sweat. Hunger, wind. I must finish this film shoot. Why so hungry? Oh, I'm in a strange place, and reptilian brain danger. Reptile brain sees unknown landscape, unknown land, unknown resources. When is your next meal? ? Next meal may never come. Eat now. But then filming is over, and concentration can end. My double NZ reward is a solo drive from Wellington to Carterton. See, up until this point, Nick and I were chauffeured around, or drove cars in which a Kiwi was present. But now I get to solo drive. I'm solo driving Andrew's BMW 5 Series into the New Zealand unknown. Nick and I will drive through the Rimataka Pass, and I concentrate like I'm 17 years old again and driving without mom or dad in the car. I drive like I have to demonstrate mature skills to the Commonwealth. Oncoming cars aren't about to hit you. Trust the centerline. New Zealand. Left the country. Logging trucks hard corner through the Rimataka Pass, and we are peaking responsibility. This is peak responsibility. No fixers here and no cell service. Adventure bikes paint the line behind us. 8 and 2 or 9 and 3. Switch them up and complete my purpose. Be real. Be a good American. Blend in. Be Kiwi. Keep up with traffic and fear no cliffs. I mean, the tradie vans certainly don't fear the cliffs. The Rimataka Pass ends, and our Loner 5 series reaches the Warapapa's welcoming flatness and the Johnson's farm. Welcome to Carterton, New Zealand. New Zealand, the bonus level, the secret super post... New Zealand, the bonus level, the super secret post-pacifist ending. New Zealand, happy headcanon. Here, folks are happy to see you. Kiwi birds and flightless parrots happen when eons of wind makes natural selection go, how about no? Johnson's farm, I throw sticks to a forever fetching dog. And I eat the best meal of my life. Lamb and sheep ribs and steak with a green salad. All the food came from over there. Right over there. Right over the fence. I miss it dearly. But now my notes say, back in L.A. I'm at a hotel bar. Same bar as before. Same drink. Gin martini. I hear one long second honks and fire engines and police. There's always an emergency, and I saw a young 20-year-old slumped on the sidewalk. So name your tragedy. I see a lone street donut. In New Zealand, kindness is genuine. In Los Angeles, kindness always precedes the hustle. I once again look at the LA traffic snake. And I wonder if the Wellington scene gets boring. There was only one party street in Wellington, and how many times can you look at the Blanket Man and feel a mix of schadenfreude and town pride? But when Kiwis hug you, it's because shaking hands isn't enough. And I think of memories of the Johnsons' farm. I think of their garage with the big meat freezer, and the gumboots all up on a shelf, next to a door leading into the kitchen, below the dog leashes. I think of Juliet's work mat, with indentations where the hot barrel of her glue gun melted into the hard black foam. I hear dogs in every room. I think about her fidget clicker toy on her desk. I think of Bryce's long striding walk. His wiry arm wrapped around my neck in a rear naked choke. Which is what started this wrestling match. I don't know, but it got serious when I boasted that if I'm still on my back, I could still cross-elbow you. We were drinking. And then he picked me up and choked me. Well, it's the next morning, and it's breakfast in L.A. Welcome to the USA, plastic eggs. I miss flat whites. I miss piercing that creamy hymen. New Zealand was egoless. If you want to stay home, stay home. We don't have to go to a party. Andrew doesn't mind. You don't have to undulate around someone's kitchen to music you don't like, trying to impress pristine bodies who may know a famous podcaster. Then, if you can, if befriended, ask them for an introduction to that famous podcaster, and you play the long social media game. Networking, they call it. No, not in New Zealand. We can watch birds, look for fish in Wellington Harbor. Blues music doesn't work in New Zealand. They don't have the programming for it. Blues, bourbon, and regret. God, that stuff is comforting to me. The days were so full in New Zealand, and night came as a by the way.